Okay, so people are coming, and for your reference, there are more than 600 people are registered our webinar.
Wow, it's a lot.
Yes, yeah, it's
No, I'm becoming nervous.
it's okay. So the webinar has started. I will soon do opening in very soon. Let's wait one more minute for other people coming. Okay, let's begin. Hello, everyone. Welcome to ExoCoBio live webinar. My name is JB at ExoCoBio. I'm a regional manager of ExoCoBio, and I'll be the moderator for today. This webinar is organized especially for hair treatment from hair loss, alopecia, scalp problem, and hair transplant also. And as you see here, we are here to share on how to enhance our practice with ASC Plus. We have invited exceptional speakers joining us today who will be sharing their expertise on how are they using ASCE in their practices. Today, we have three speakers, Dr. Sarah Fadli from France, and Professor Aleksandra from Poland, and Mr. Byong from South Korea. The lecture will be around 10 to 20 minutes each, and we will have Q&A session right after each presentation. And concerning the time limitation, each speaker could leave right after their Q&A session is ended. So, and furthermore, you can leave your during the presentation. You can leave your questions by scanning this QR code, or you will, and we will repeatedly leave a link for submitting question on the chat. I mean the Zoom chat, so you can use the link also. And I will deliver the submitted questions after each speaker lecture is ended. Okay. Okay, so let us begin with our first speaker, Dr. Sarah Fadli from Paris, France. Dr. Sarah is a medical director in Clinical Tetsia in Paris, which is one of the most well-known and biggest clinic for hair transplantation. She has been giving a wide range of hair transplants from hair, beard, eyebrow, and etc. Not only hair transplantation, she's an expert in anti-aging treatment either. I have visited her clinic a few months ago, and it was really it was luxurious clinic I've ever seen in France. So for her lecture, we have pre-recorded video from Dr. Fadli to provide subtitles for English listener. However, we will have her in live after the video to have Q&A session. Okay. Okay, let's begin with her video.
Bonjour, je suis le docteur Sarah Fadli, médecin esthétique et je pratique la greffe capillaire depuis près de 15 ans. Avant tout, je remercie le laboratoire ExoCoBio pour son invitation et me permettre de partager mon expérience avec les confrères. Le sujet de l'alopécie androgénétique est un sujet doublement important par sa fréquence et par l'impact psychologique qu'il a sur les patients. En France, on sait que plus de 10 millions de Français sont touchés par l'alopécie androgénétique. Un homme sur deux est atteint à l'âge de 50 ans. Chez les femmes, 40% des femmes sont touchées par l'alopécie androgénétique à 40 ans. C'est un sujet qui touche l'image de soi, donc il a un impact psychologique majeur. L'alopécie androgénétique est une prédisposition génétique aux androgènes, plus précisément à la dihydrotestostérone. C'est le métabolite actif de la testostérone. Lorsque le patient souffre d'alopécie androgénétique, on constate un raccourcissement de son cycle. La durée normale d'un cycle est de 5 à 7 ans. Chez les patients qui souffrent d'alopécie androgénétique, ce cycle se raccourcit. Le cheveu se miniaturise, il devient fin. On sait également qu'il y a une composante inflammatoire au niveau du cuir chevelu. Il existe différents traitements qui vont avoir une action sur l'alopécie androgénétique, qui vont permettre de réduire la chute, de stimuler la repousse, tels que le minoxidil, qui est un vasodilatateur. Ce médicament va augmenter l'afflux sanguin au niveau des bulbes et les maintenir artificiellement. Il existe également le finastéride, c'est un médicament qui va agir sur la 5-alpha réductase. C'est l'enzyme qui va permettre la transformation de la testostérone en dihydrotestostérone. En bloquant cette transformation, cela va stopper l'évolution de l'alopécie. Malheureusement, il existe des effets secondaires rares, aux alentours de 1%, mais on est dans l'obligation de les signaler aux patients et de gérer les patients qui ont ce genre d'effets secondaires. Le finastéride existe également sous forme topique. C'est une application au niveau du cuir chevelu, réduisant les risques d'effets secondaires. Certains praticiens utilisent le PRP, le plasma, pour stimuler la repousse. Malheureusement, j'exerce en France et en France, le PRP est interdit à visée esthétique. J'ai donc intégré l'utilisation des exosomes depuis plus de 2 ans à ma pratique courante. J'en suis ravie, ainsi que mes patients. Les exosomes, ce sont des petites vésicules, des microvésicules de 30 à 150 microns libérées par la cellule. Ils ont été découvertes en 1980. Initialement, on pensait que c'était des déchets de la cellule car on les trouvait à l'extérieur de celle-ci. Ces dernières années, on s'est beaucoup intéressé aux exosomes et on s'est rendu compte qu'ils étaient un véritable moyen de communication des cellules. Ces vésicules-là transportaient l'information. Elles transportent des protéines, l'ARN messager. Elles ont un rôle clé dans la communication intercellulaire. Elles vont stimuler la régénération, elles vont avoir une action sur les fibroblastes et donc les inciter à fabriquer un nouveau collagène et de l'élastine. Elles vont avoir une action sur les kératinocytes au niveau du cuir chevelu, donc le patient va pouvoir fabriquer un nouveau cheveu, une action également sur la vascularisation anti-inflammatoire. Tout dépend du type d'exosome qu'on va utiliser, donc tout dépendra de l'information que l'exosome va transporter, mais on peut les utiliser pour traiter un large panel de problèmes en médecine esthétique et anti-aging. Différents types d'exosomes existent, différents laboratoires qui produisent des exosomes existent. J'ai choisi de travailler avec le laboratoire ExoCoBio pour plusieurs raisons. 1. La sécurité. ExoCoBio produit des exosomes hautement filtrés avec un niveau de pureté important, ce qui va assurer une sécurité lors de l'utilisation de ces produits-là avec mes patients. Leurs produits sont léophilisés, donc peuvent rester stables de nombreuses années. Deuxième point, recherche. Le laboratoire ExoCoBio a de nombreux brevets et a fait de nombreuses études cliniques qui ont démontré leur efficacité et leur sécurité. Et enfin, je tenais à travailler avec un partenaire reconnu mondialement. Aujourd'hui, ExoCoBio est connu partout en Europe, aux États-Unis et en Asie. Pourquoi j'ai intégré les exosomes dans ma pratique courante? Déjà, leur biocompatibilité. Les exosomes, ce sont des produits naturellement produits par l'organisme. Il y a une forte compatibilité, donc un très faible risque d'allergie ou de rejet. Leur spécificité. Les exosomes possèdent à leur surface des éléments qui vont permettre de reconnaître avec une haute spécificité leurs cellules cibles. Troisièmement, leur résistance. La membrane lipidique leur permet de survivre dans des conditions physiques difficiles. Et enfin, leur perméabilité. Ils ont la capacité de traverser la barrière endothéliale avec une grande facilité. Cependant, cette avancée technologique a des limites. Aujourd'hui, on sait que les exosomes de bonne qualité coûtent cher, car la technologie qui permet de les extraire, de les purifier et de les filtrer nécessite de gros investissements. Et enfin, la spécificité des exosomes va faire qu'on ne peut pas utiliser le même type d'exosome pour toutes les indications. Dans ma pratique courante, j'ai des exosomes que j'utilise uniquement dans le cadre de l'alopécie et la prise en charge du cuir chevelu, et d'autres que j'utilise pour l'anti-aging, pour des traitements visage. J'utilise les exosomes de deux façons. Un, chez les patients qui n'ont pas recours à la greffe capillaire, donc pour ralentir la chute de cheveux, stimuler la repousse. Et deux, chez les patients qui ont subi une greffe de cheveux pour accompagner la prise en charge. Donc, dans le cadre général d'alopécie androgénétique, les exosomes vont avoir une action sur les kératinocytes, vont stimuler la repousse, ils vont agir directement au niveau du bulbe, du cœur de la machine. Ils vont avoir également une action anti-inflammatoire au niveau du cuir chevelu. On sait qu'il y a une composante inflammatoire importante dans le cadre de l'alopécie androgénétique. Ils vont avoir également une action sur la vascularisation du cuir chevelu, améliorer l'apport vasculaire et donc maintenir les cheveux en vie. Ils vont épaissir la tige pilaire. En post-greffe capillaire, j'utilise les exosomes pour accélérer la cicatrisation et la régénération de la zone donneuse, et un mois post-greffe pour accompagner la repousse au niveau de la zone receveuse. Les exosomes que j'utilise dans le cadre de l'alopécie androgénétique, c'est un flacon lyophilisé. Je le mélange avec du sérum physiologique stérile entre 3 à 5 ml selon la zone que je veux traiter. J'ai un protocole dans le cadre de l'alopécie androgénétique, c'est une séance tous les 15 jours pendant 3 mois. Ensuite, on espace les séances à une séance par mois. Je combine systématiquement les séances d'exosome avec de la luminothérapie, la lumière LED. Je demande aux patients de venir avec les cheveux propres car il ne pourra pas les laver pendant 48 heures post-traitement. L'idée des exosomes est un produit topique. En Europe, on n'a pas le droit de l'injecter en profondeur. Donc, on va faire des micro-puits, des micro-perforations sur l'ensemble du cuir chevelu. On utilise un pistolet à mésothérapie. C'est ce que je fais. Ou bien, vous pouvez utiliser un dermaroller. Certains peuvent utiliser de la radiofréquence micro-aiguille. Le but est le même, créer des puits permettant aux produits topiques de pénétrer en profondeur. Et donc, on demande aux patients de ne pas se laver les cheveux pendant 48 heures. Par contre, après une greffe de cheveux, je n'ai pas besoin de faire les perforations. Au niveau de la zone de prélèvement, il y a déjà les micro-perforations dues au prélèvement, à l'endroit où on a prélevé. Je dépose le liquide, le produit d'exosome, et on met le pansement tout de suite après. Les exosomes représentent une avancée majeure dans la prise en charge de l'alopécie androgénétique. Ils permettent de réduire la chute, de la stabiliser, d'améliorer la qualité du cheveu, mais également ils peuvent accompagner la greffe capillaire. Intégrer les exosomes à votre pratique courante est offrir à vos patients une technologie innovante, sûre, performante. Je vous remercie pour votre écoute.
Okay, thank you for your informative lecture, Dr. Sarah. it will be really helpful to the doctors who are thinking to try our hair products, which is AAC HRV.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Sarah. So, Dr. Sarah, we have some couple of questions from you, for you from the audience. So let me ask some question. Okay. So the first question came from Korea. The question is, hello, doctor. As you know, the products is not cheap products. And did you see any valid difference between the hair transplant patient with exosome and without exosome? Because the product is not cheap, and adding additional cost will kind of burden to the patient.
Yeah, I see a significant difference between a patient with and without exosome, especially for the donor area. When we put exosome just after the procedure, the healing is faster and the recovery is shorter, and we have less pain in the donor. The patient can become to the normal life very quick after the session. For the hair grow, with the hair transplant, we just move the hair from the back to the front. Then we know they grow. We always grow is if we do correctly the procedure. I cannot tell you we have a big difference with and without exosome for the growing, but for the donor area, yes.
Oh, I see. Okay, it was really helpful answer. And the second question is that came from Poland, and the question is that in your practice, when you do exosome, make the biggest difference in hair transplant? For example, do you use them for poor graft survival or slow healing, or when minoxidil doesn't work well?
When the minoxidil during the procedure, I don't put the graft in the exosome. I use the exosome only for the donor area just after the procedure. And the second part of the question,
how many times do you apply exosome after the surgery is finished?
Just right after the end of the procedure, in the end of the day, I put the exosome before to put the bandage. And the patient can remove it 24 hours after.
24 hours after.
Yeah.
I see.
We leave the time to the exosome to penetrate inside and help the healing.
Okay, I see. Thank you. And this is the last question, I think. Other than hair transplants, just normal hair treatments, which is your favorite devices or method to deliver our exosome? What is your combination protocol normally?
I use mesotherapy again to do the perforation in the skin. I put the exosome, and after I use the lead. I always combine exosome and luminotherapy, the lead. Sometimes I have a protocol. I combine exosome and mesotherapy with hyaluronic acid and vitamin. Not in the same day, but every 2 weeks I put one time exosome, and 2 weeks after mesotherapy and vitamin. But I always use LED, the light.
LED light, okay.
LED light with mesogen to do the micro needling.
Okay, Dr. Farah, just let me ask you the last question. This question is from India, and the question is that, hello, doctor, it was a great introduction on exosome. Can we use exosome after CO2 laser or electroporation on the scalp? Have you ever used it with that device?
Not for the hair, for the face, they mean.
On the scalp.
On the
Have you ever
scalp?
used with?
No, I use it only with mesogen, with mechanic microneedling, never with laser.
Never with laser.
But I thought about it to combine with erbium laser, maybe next time. But for instance, I don't use it.
Okay, we can try maybe later. Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Farah, for your great lecture and great answer to the questions.
You're welcome. Have a nice meeting.
Thank you. Okay, so let's move on to our next speaker, Professor Aleksandra from Poland. Professor Aleksandra is a dermatologist and professor with over 30 years of experience in clinical and aesthetic dermatology. And she is specialized in lasers, trichology, and dermatoscopy. And also she has been an author or co-author of over 60 scientific articles and medical textbooks. Well, Professor, you can now share your slide and you can start.
Okay. Okay, hello, I'm ready. Hello, everyone. Sorry for a little bit interruption. Well, it's a great honor for me to present my clinical experience related to the use of exosomes in dermatology and specifically in diseases of the scalp and of the hairs. In the beginning, first questions at the beginnings. Why is hair so important to people? After all, through evolution, hair has lost biological significance. Its physiological role is completely unimportant, but its appearance significantly affects our well-being and self-esteem. Analyzing dysmorphic disorders, it turned out that for women, the appearance of hair is as important as the appearance of the skin or the shape of the nose. For men, hair is also very important. It's in the third place among the most attractive part of the body. Another questions, why patients with trichological problems are usually so difficult clinical cases? There are 5 reasons of this phenomenon. First of all, the etiological factors. The causes of hair loss and baldness are very numerous. Often, not one, but several etiological factors are at work. It's very difficult to specify them, and sometimes the pathophysiology of changes remains unknown. In addition, we must distinguish hair loss and baldness. These are not the same, although the patient, they are very often unambiguous phenomena. What we see is an example of hair loss within the physiological norm, but for the patient, it was a sign of baldness. The second point is the frequency of occurrence of various forms of baldness. Androgenetic alopecia is a phenomenon present in both sexes. It has a high frequency of occurrence increasing with age. Cicatrical alopecia is more common among women, but alopecia areata is in population of children and adolescents. Baldness can occur in any person. The father of West medicine, Hippocrates, had androgenetic alopecia, as did Julius Caesar, Napoleon, Shakespeare, and even Nicolaus Copernicus. Also Stanisław Lem, an outstanding Polish science fiction writer. Alopecia areata was diagnosed in Christopher Reeves, who played Superman, Jada Pinkett, and Shakira, while Queen Elizabeth I of England probably had scarring alopecia. The next third point is diagnosis. We have numerous diagnostic methods at our disposal, but despite this, we cannot always make a clear diagnosis or determine the pathological factors. Undoubtedly, trichoscopy has the greatest diagnostic value because it assesses not only the hair shaft, but also the condition of the surrounding skin. Despite numerous therapeutic options, no treatment method is 100% effective. At this point, the question arises, why is this so? The reason is that the hair follicle is a very complicated organ, or more precisely, mini organ. It's not only the target of various substances, but also a source that releases numerous biologically active products. The hair follicle has endocrine, autocrine, and paracrine features. The substances that it produces or that reach hair follicle control all of its biological function: duration of cycle phases, morphological feature, metabolic activity, immune status, stem cells biology, and even pigmentation. Hair follicle is a self-renewing organ because it contains stem cells. Hair follicle stem cells are the epithelial stem cells persistent throughout the lifetime of organism and have distinct biochemical makeup and location in a well-protected niche. Hair dermal papilla are rich in pluripotent stem cells. Dermal papilla cells are mesenchyme-derived fibroblasts that interact with various types of epithelial cells hair, germ cells, and stem cells in the hair follicles. The above mentioned reason result in the fact that the treatment of hair disease is very difficult, long-term, and not always satisfactory for the patient and the doctor. That is why new therapeutic methods are constantly being sought. Exosomes are a new hope in trichology, although they have a long history, as they were first described almost 40 years ago. Exosomes transfer biological information between the donor and recipient cells, which leads to the modification of cellular processes in the form of changes in reproduction, differentiation, migration, and apoptosis rate. Their effect on the skin and hair follicle has been documented in numerous experimental studies, where it was found that they activate the growth and regeneration of the hair follicle. Exosome can regulate hair follicle growth, cycle stages for hair growth, and stimulate the proliferation and differentiation of outer root sheath cells. Exosomes can accelerate onset of anagen, delayed catagen, longer hair shaft, and larger bulges in the skin of mice. This is mainly mediated by upregulated beta-catenin and sonic hedgehog levels. Result of other investigation showed that exosome can increase the expression of insulin-like growth factor 1, keratinocyte growth factor, and hepatocyte growth factor in dermal papilla. The ExoCoBio product, the ASCE Plus preparation, contains over 10 billion exosomes, which acts not only on the hair follicle, but also on its surroundings, the epidermis, dermis, and subcutaneous tissue. Such a multidirectional mechanism of action has definitely the best regenerative and stimulating effects. I'd use this preparation in all presented clinical cases. The treatment regimen consists of 5 applications of the preparation every 2 weeks, sometimes 10 days, even 7 days. This is the intensive treatment phase, and then long-term maintained treatment is suggested. In the clinical cases I presented, I used the suggested intensive treatment and maintained treatment was depend on further observation of the patient. Of course, the method of administration of exosomes is a little bit controversial. External application, which is recommended, microneedling or injection, which is not recommended, but it used. The fact that exosomes therapy is effective in androgenetic alopecia is already very well documented by numerous researchers. I present my own and my colleagues' cases. Exosomes were used in monotherapy as well as in therapy combined with PRP. In the case of androgenetic alopecia, I suggest, apart from the intensive treatment phase, maintenance treatment, one treatment per every 3 months. For me, was more interesting whether exosome would be able to treat alopecia areata, which is a polyetiological disease, including a psychosomatic one. And case 1, 34-year-old woman, first episode of balding, patient with no other complaints, healthy. Alopecia areata was confirmed in trichoscopic examination, numerous broken hairs, exclamation mark hair, black dots. The above mentioned trichoscopic features are evidence of the activity of the pathological process. After the diagnosis was made, the patient was given a portion of exosomes in monotherapy. Clinically, visible hair regrowth appeared after third application. You see, on the pictures we have 0, it means before application, 1, it's after first application, 2 after second, and 3 after third application. And in this picture, left bottom, we see clinical visible regrowth. Also, a visible reduction of pathological trichoscopic feature and the presence of regrowth feature in the form of vertically grown hair and vellus hair were found. In these patients, after 5th injection, absolutely visible regrowth was obtained and no trichoscopic pathological features were found. 8 weeks after the last application, complete hair regrowth is maintained without pathological features. This was confirmed by trichoscopy, like we see. This slide shows the results of trichoscan 8 weeks after the last application of exosome. The number of hair shaft per square centimeter is about 278, and the number of hair units per square centimeter is about 95. This is absolutely physiological status. Another case, a 25-year-old woman, single focus of baldness in the frontal area confirmed by trichoscopy. Clinically, visible hair regrowth appear after first application. Prominent hair regrowth and no trichoscopic pathological feature appear after the third application. 8 weeks after the application, complete hair regrowth is maintained without pathological features. This was confirmed also by trichoscopy. And these slides show the results of trichoscan, usually 8 weeks after the last application. The number of hair shaft per square centimeter was about 212, and the number of hair unit per square centimeter about 99. Of course, this is the physiological status. Another case, absolutely, it's extremely difficult because it's alopecia areata totalis. 28-year-old woman, therapy of cyclosporine was started 8 weeks before exosome administration. And before exosome administration, vellus hair was visible but white. Of course, I didn't expect a miracle in this case because, how you see, this case is absolutely extreme, absolutely difficult. But after fifth exosome administration, no clinical hair growth was achieved, but dark hair regrowth was observed in trichoscopy. So this work confirmed that exosomes can control hair pigmentation, like this publication is proof of this. And another difficult case, scarring alopecia, cicatrical alopecia, folliculitis decalvans. Male, 32 years old, folliculitis decalvans was confirmed by biopsy and trichoscopy. The clinical pictures included severe inflammation, purulent exudate from the sebaceous gland, foci of several scales, pain, and significant skin tenderness. In trichoscopy, multiply hair units, yellow spots, perifollicular desquamation, yellow exudate, and pathological vessel. The applied therapeutic methods were absolutely ineffective. Occasionally, a temporary improvement was achieved. Pathological changes involve the occipital region and parietal region, a part of them. Exosomes were administered every 10 days. After fifth application was a significant reduction in inflammation and reduction of scales. After 7 application, image left in the bottom, we observe complete absence of exudate, further decreased inflammation and scales. The pain and skin tenderness disappeared. So I think that we got excellent result. Of course, this patient is in further observation, in further treatment, and current plan is to administer exosomes every 6 weeks. I think about 3 or more months, depend on the observation. And on this image shows a comparison of the scalp before and after. And the last case sent by colleagues, a burn of scalp in a 6-year-old girl. The application of exosomes in the form of a solution and cream, a complete reduction of inflammation was achieved, but time will tell whether the hair will grow back. In summary, the ExoCoBio ASCE plus exosome preparation regenerate and stimulate not only hair follicle, but also the surrounding skin. And this is where its power lies. Exosome undoubtedly give hope for more effective treatment of hair and scalp disease. Of course, we have a lot of different indication, not only in trichology, but also in aesthetic medicine, in dermatology, because exosome, this is powerful product because of his regeneration, stimulation, activation of proliferation and differentiation skin cells and follicle cells. And in the finally, because my hobby is ornithology, I always finish my lectures by some ornithology case. I have some small allegory for you. Hair is not only important for humans, but also for birds. For example, the crane is proof of this. A crowned crane with a decorated head is definitely more attractive than a crane without this decoration. A crane which is bald. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much, Professor Aleksandra. It was amazing, and it was really informative lecture, not only to the audience, but for us too. So, okay, here we have got some questions for you. So first question was submitted from Uruguay, and he submitted 2 questions. So, how do exosomes enter our cells, by fusion or phagocytosis?
I think it's the good questions, but these questions should be sent to Mr. Byong because he's the expert in this kind of patients. Because I'm a doctor, you know, I use exosomes in practice, okay? For me, I should decide. For me, the most information, of course, the very important is information how exosome works on the cellular levels. But for me, the most important information is if the exosomes are safe. Now I know they are safe, and decide when, where to use this exosome and how to use this exosome. But how I say, the exosome should be used just in external application or microneedling. Well, somebody use in injection, okay? Well, true is I use in injection.
So Mr. Byong is actually also in here. So is there any comment, Mr. Cho, to add?
I think I got a slide, a couple of slides to the question. So please let me do my presentation. Thank you so much, Professor Aleksandra. It's very nice to see you here.
Hello. Nice to see you.
I'm going to Poland next month, so see you soon.
Yes, of course.
Mr. Cho, would you mind if I have just a couple of more questions to her? Actually, we have some more questions for her. So, Professor Aleksandra, there is another question from Indonesia. The question is, how do we combine exosome treatment with PRP treatment in allogeneic alopecia? Have you ever experienced with the combination with PRP? If yes, what was the interval between each treatments? Thank you.
Yes, of course. You know, we can use exosomes in monotherapy. Like in my cases, I use in monotherapy in alopecia areata and folliculitis decalvans. But we in androgenetic alopecia also we can use in monotherapy or in combined therapy with PRP or with different preparation. And I think well, it depends on the result, and maybe not. It depends on the type of alopecia and the level of alopecia. If we combine in one, if we combine in one therapy PRP and exosomes, I think that we could get better result. But of course, I understand the treatment of exosome is not cheap. Also, the PRP sometimes is not cheap. So maybe a better way will be prepare patients with exosomes or with PRP, and then use the another exosomes or PRP. So I think the maybe not in one treatment, but maybe with divided treatment will get better results, and I see in my practice. So when I use the both of them, it's better than I use just in monotherapy one product.
Okay, thank you very much for your answer. And please let me ask the last question. The question came from Cambodia, and the question is that what is the method of your treatment during the procedure? You mentioned injection, but other than injection, in terms of drug delivery of exosome, what is your favorite device or method to deliver exosome inside?
Injection.
Other than injection.
Another, I think, is microneedling. Microneedling, absolutely. So I use, my method is that I microneedling, or I use derma pen, and then after this I apply exosome. Sometimes I use laser, but fractional ablative laser to get some channels in the skin, and then apply the exosomes.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Aleksandra. It was really valuable time for us.
Thank you very much. Thank you very
the
much.
Audience. Thank you very much for your time today, and we'll meet you definitely next time. Thank you. Okay, let us move on to our last speaker, Mr. Byong Cho, founder of ExoCoBio, CEO and CTO of ExoCoBio. Welcome, Mr. Byong.
Hello, everyone. I am Byong Cho. It's very nice to see you again on our webinar. And I'm trying to share my slide. So everybody, can you see my slide for today?
Yes, we do clearly.
Okay, good. Okay, I think I have less than 20 minutes. Thank you so much for joining our webinar. My topic for today is the main topic is the efficacy and safety of our two different types of exosomes in severe alopecia areata. I presented this topic last week at CIME, which is the largest medical aesthetic congress in Italy. So ExoCoBio is very important because we have a solution for all of these kinds of skin or other types of condition. For example, you can see that very deep scar and skin sing loss, vitiligo, and poliosis, alopecia totalis, something like that. But before that, let me share this slide. It's very important information for all doctors and patients. Last January at IMCAS Paris, IMCAS Scientific Committee compared 6 major exosome companies in the world to check their publication. And they found ExoCoBio is the only exosome company who has done any kind of clinical study and the publication. You can see that other exosome companies, they don't have publication at all, unfortunately, even though they are saying that they have the best quality of exosome. ExoCoBio is the only exosome company who has done clinical studies ever. I hope you can remember these truths. So why is ExoCoBio is the global number one exosome company? Because we are the biggest investor in terms of science and manufacturing. And most importantly, for doctors and for patients, the number of publication or scientific validation from publications is the most important factor for you guys to consider. We are now generating almost 40 publications by the end of this year, and we have been generating 2.2 million clinical cases in more than 70 countries. We are very happy to help all the patients. I got a question from an attendee of this webinar, and then his question was why exosomes are surrounded by lipid biomembrane. It's because you can see that here on the left side, one particle of exosome under electron microscopic image, which shows the clearly lipid membrane. And this is very similar to the cellular membrane, actually. And then, this kind of lipid membrane is the most stable form of vesicles, as far as we know. And, the main function of exosomes is to deliver important message uh, in a long distance way, and they should be stabilized by forming this kind of lipid membrane. And then it's kind of an ambassador of their own cells. And you can see that another question was how cells can uptake exosomes. And scientists have been proposing three different types of cellular uptake. But the first is just fusion, the second is phagocytosis, the third is receptor-mediated endocytosis. But uh, all those three different types of cellular uptake are working together in our view, but not only one of them is working for the best cellular uptake. But definitely scientists will do more research on the exact mechanism of cellular uptake. But definitely you can see that exosomes are delivering important message to our human tumor fibroblasts. I just added this one more slide to show the comparison of the potential of exosome against other technologies on the market. Last Widermer, actually last year, they compared the regenerative potency of EGF, PDRN, PDLA, and exosome. So you can see that after 5 days of the application, you can see that the best regeneration happened in the exosome treated group. In addition, you can see the Ki67, which is a blue dot. Ki67 is a cellular proliferation biomarker, and you can see that the biggest amount of Ki67 were generated in exosome treated group, then PDRN, then EGF, even then PDLA group. So which you can see that here exosomes are the best regenerative technology in the world. So this is my main topic for hair. It's all about stem cell and regeneration or anti-inflammation or microenvironment. This is a very interesting slide because you can see that all the stem cells in a young environment can show longer hair, while young stem cells in an old environment can show little hair, which means that we need a new technology to make our scalp or skin environment younger. That's the exosome, we believe. So you can see that we propose three different types of mechanisms. The first one is anti-aging action mediated by proteins or growth factors. The second is rejuvenation action can be done lipids or lipid-generating enzymes contained in our exosomes. And the third is anti-inflammatory action can be carried out by CD73 and microRNAs. On the right side, you can see that ExoCoBio has been identifying all the molecules like growth factors, enzyme, microRNA. I'll go into more detail later on. Before I show the clinical cases on hair, this is a key skin clinical cases based on those three different mechanism of action. You can see that this young man, had a car accident, and then he had deep scar. He had no option but to apply our product topically with microneedling and thulium laser 4 sessions every 3 and 4 weeks. And after several treatments, you can see that incredible aesthetic improvements in addition to motor functional recovery. And then after those treatments, he became socially functioning. He got the best psyche, and we believe that we changed the quality of life of the patient significantly. The second key case is that this is the world first idiopathic gut hypomelanosis, IGH. It has no standard treatment. Everybody has IGH when they go over age 50, something like that. And you can see that this is the world first case. We collaborated with Dr. Sparus, Thailand dermatologist, to develop a new protocol, a new modality based on CO2 laser treatment with topical application, non-microneedling, no injection. And you can see that after just one session of this new protocol, the IGH was significantly improved. Now we optimize this protocol for publication with 5 clinical cases. We will share the publication in a few months. And this case came from Korea. You can see that the patient on the left side got a severe necrosis due to vascular occlusion after HA filler injection. And our plastic surgeon applied our skin product topically. No injection, no microneedling for a few months. Now we saved her nose. And the last clinical case is from Indonesia, Dr. Luri Famela developed a new protocol with the picocycle laser combined with the topical application, our Exogen product to improve this vitiligo happened in vulvovaginal area as well as on the back of a patient neck. So you can see that all these 4 key clinical cases on skin they are all we believe, the first cases generated by ExoCoBio and global team. And from this part, let me share some important scientific knowledge on exosomal proteins and other ingredients. For hair, I try to compare our exosome technology against PRP. So let's look at the total number of publication on exosome is 36,000 while PRP has 18,000. So you can see that the number of publications on exosomes are double on the PRP. But the biggest difference between exosomes and PRP is the regenerative activity and anti-inflammatory activity based on the group of ingredients like growth factors, microRNAs. A lot of microRNAs are contained in exosome, which is a Nobel Prize last year. It's my typo 2024. And very important lipids are lipid and lipid generating enzyme are contained in exosome. This composition is very different from growth factors. That's why you can trust the potential, regenerative potential of exosome as well as anti-inflammatory action of exosome. And exosomes can be standardized while PRP or blood cannot be standardized. So this is about the consistency. And we will show the world first hair repigmentation cases based on our exosome technology. Dr. Aleksandra mentioned all these ingredients. And anyway, we have been finding very big number of growth factors for cellular proliferation or regeneration. And this interesting enzyme contained in our adipose stem cell exosomes, they have very strong anti-inflammatory effect to induce paracrine immunosuppression, which is very good for lichen or alopecia areata, something like that. And these hair follicles are actual human hair follicles. And then you can see that after the treatment of our exosomes, alkaline phosphatase, Ki-6, again, and beta-catenin signal was strongly promoted or elevated. ExoCoBio has 2 different types of exosome. The first one is human adipose stem cell exosome. The second is rose stem cell exosomes, which is the first any kind of plant stem cell derived exosomes. We successfully purified our exosome from rose stem cell culture media. And when they are treated to human stem cells and skin cells, they are responding by delivering a new set of signal. And we are going to publish all our scientific discoveries. And the biggest difference between ExoBio and other plant exosome claiming products, because you can see that our process is fully GMP compliant, and we are providing the best quality or the best purified form of exosome by combining tangential flow filtration with fast protein liquid chromatography to remove almost all the impurities from the mixture. But other companies, they are not standardized and they have high impurities. And you can see that from this slide, exosomes, plant exosomes also should have exosome specific marker. And we found from our large stem cell exosomes, we found the same plant exosome specific marker, which is very similar to human exosome specific marker named TET8. And this is about microRNA. You can see that microRNA became another Nobel Prize last year. And then what we found is that human adipose stem cell exosome, large stem cell exosome are delivering important microRNAs. You can see this publication, more than 21 exosomal microRNAs have been introduced for skin therapy. For hair loss here, you can see that microRNA 122 was found to be very helpful to improve hair loss. And then you can see that other types of microRNA can stop telogen, they can induce anagen. And in this publication, you can see that the biological function of microRNA 122 for hair regrowth. And LEP7 is it was the first discovered microRNA, and it means longer hair. When you have more LT7B, it means longer hairs. So when we compare and when we profile to all the contents of microRNA contained in our exosome, you can see that LT7 and other important microRNAs for anti-inflammation, cellular proliferation, and anti-scarring. You can see that 21, 23, 21, they are very good for anti-scarring microRNAs. And very surprisingly, our large stem cell exosomes, they are sharing some important microRNAs found in human stem cell exosome too. For example, LT7 and their family, 122 again for hair, 21, 23, 29 for anti-scarring, and 574, 1246, they can induce neocollagenase. So it's the first discovery in the world done by ExoCoBio to show that some important housekeeping microRNAs are shared between human stem cell exosomes and plant stem cell exosomes. We are very proud to share this data. And this is the most recent scientific discovery on lipid or lipid generating enzyme. You cannot see any data from other exosome groups, but you can see that what we found is that in our skin or in our scalp, this kind of lipid generating enzyme and lipids are very important for our normal cellular signaling. And my team spent 3 years to identify more than 200 different types of lipids and 16 ceramide generating enzymes. And you can see that when we compared the amount of good lipids, these four good lipids are enriched in our stem cell exosome than donor cells. And the main function of these lipid generating enzymes, for example, SPHK1, highly enriched in our exosome, they convert sphingosine into sphingosine 1-phosphate, S1P. And S1P usually can induce more amount of filaggrin protein, which is a key protein in our skin barrier. In the meantime, S1P can lower or can downregulate the production of IL-4, which means that they have anti-inflammatory effects. So this is a new mechanism proposed by ExoCoBio only for the first time in the world. Our exosome and our product can induce more S1P. S1P can stimulate differentiation. They can downregulate inflammation, but they can promote skin regeneration. This is a very important discovery. Will be published in a couple of months. Based on this scientific background, you can use our hair product and other products for hair regrowth and hair repigmentation. And this is our clinical publication last year. As I mentioned earlier, our products were able to promote hair growth. And 5 years ago, Dr. Inigo Felipe combined our hair technology with dutasteride minoxidil to find these very great cases. In the first photo, you can see that this man had more hair, but more black hair. And they mentioned that they didn't want a PRP anymore because they were non-responders to PRP. After that, we trying to generate more clinical cases for hair growth as well as hair repigmentation. As you can see here from Brazil, he got more black hair. And for alopecia areata, this is our first official publication, came out 2 weeks ago. You can see that the key result is that this patient didn't respond to methotrexate and prednisolone for 2 years, and he had no option but to use our exosome technology. And the doctor combined our exosomes with thulium laser, which is very non-invasive and very comfortable for 6 months for 6 sessions. And it's again topical application. Um, was done to change the quality of his life. You can see that now he has just normal hair. And in Thailand, microneedling 2 sessions could give more black hair. And this is the world first poliosis case. Before this case, all the dermatologists and doctors mentioned that white hair from poliosis couldn't be normalized again, but we changed with the rule. We broke the rule by developing a new modality of picosecond laser combined with topical exosome treatment. It was published, and we follow up more for more than 10 months on the same patient, and the same patient developed another poliosis after 10 months, and we did 3 more sessions to fix his problem, as you can see here. And it was published, and we are very proud to propose a new clinical protocol to change the quality of life of these patients. And from Brazil again, here you can see that Dr. Daniela Lemes, she combined thulium laser with topical exosome, 4 sessions. You can see that very nice, more hair and more repigmented hair too. From Lebanon 2 years ago, this totalist patient had almost no hair. Now he's getting more black hair. And this photo came from Saudi Arabia 2 weeks ago. Actually, this lady is a dermatologist. She is another famous dermatologist in Saudi Arabia, but she has poliosis for many years. But unfortunately, she couldn't improve her poliosis with her conventional treatment. But as you can see here, these are all comments from herself. This dermatologist mentioned that after 1 session, she could see there was a big difference. And this is her comment. After 1 session, 70% of my poliosis was improved. We are very happy to help this dermatologist. And from Australia, sometimes you can use RF microneedling like Morpheus or Silphomax or NDMAT, and then topical application. And the 2 sessions of that treatment could improve a lot. And I heard a few questions on hair transplantation. Many doctors in Middle East area, in Turkey, and in Korea, in Japan, they are combining our product for their hair transplantation protocol. Before the transplantation, you can apply our exogen product by doing microneedling or any other procedure. We call this priming before the operation. But on the operation day, you can dip those hair follicular units into our buyers just dipping and transplantation. It's kind of a topical application can be done too. And then you can see that post-care, as Dr. Uh, Fadli mentioned, you can apply our exosomes into donor area as well as into implanted area to see faster recovery, to see less inflammation, less downtime. So this protocol is very important, and this is just an example you can apply this protocol for your own practice very easily. And you can see that I got a photo from our dermatologist, hair expert in Korea. And then after the procedure, he applied our Exogen product topically on the donor area to see that faster recovery and less graft. And this is a case, this case from Dr. Carlos, Spain. He applied our product to improve lichen planus. And Dr. Inigo Felipe again, Potalis, very simple protocol. And this is the world's first beer repigmentation. Came from Turkey by Dr. Chimen. And he did transplantation and he applied our product to see beer repigmentation. I think we are going to publish this again. And very happy, very surprisingly, I got this message from Dr. Patrick Huang in Taiwan. He got another new publication. You can see the title, Enhancing Hair Regrowth in Pediatric Morphia by combining fractional CO2 laser exosome delivery by topical application. So you will see this great publication in a couple of months. And let me tell you, finalize my presentation. We have 5 awards from AMW Monaco. And the first award, this trophy on the left side is about our hair product now more than 2 years ago. Thank you so much for your listening.
Thank you, Mr. Byong. It was really informative as always. And please let me move on to our Q&A session. We got a couple of questions for you. The first question came from India. The question is, hello, Mr. Byong. What is the stability of exosomes after reconstitution? Does it degrade rapidly after dilution?
Okay, thank you for your question. And actually, we usually recommend to use everything within 4 hours after mixing, because it's just like Botox. But sometimes our product is a medical device grade, even though they are officially cosmetic products. It has no preservative inside. So our major concern is contamination. So in terms of efficacy or stability, our ingredients are relatively stable. Proteins and the lipids, they are relatively stable, but the microRNAs are not relatively stable. But it's not about the stability. It's about the cross-contamination or bacterial contamination, because, as I mentioned, our product, our medical device grade product with no preservative.
Thank you, Mr. Byong. So the next question came from Myanmar, and the question is, with RF microneedling, with RF microneedling, can radio frequency heat energy denature the exosome potency?
Usually the temperature of RF microneedling is between 45 and 60 degrees in Celsius, I know. And usually that kind of high temperature can degrade a little the ingredients. But, for example, in the United States, more than 1,000 our doctors are combining RF microneedling with our exosome product topically, which means that they are very good or perfect match. And the high temperature of RF microneedling will go down to normal body temperature after 5 seconds. So, but I don't recommend to use our exosome topically with microneedling, but after microneedling. So more than 1,000 doctors are applying our exosome product topically after RF microneedling. Maybe just a couple of minutes later. Thank you.
Okay. Another question came from France. And the question is, why the exosomes should not be injected?
Yeah, the first exosomes are brand new technology. So it takes a lot of time to get the drug approval. ExoCoBio has been doing that kind of process in the United States to initiate a phase 1 clinical study for injection. But for now, all of the exosome products are cosmetic products. But I found very interestingly one company in Europe, they sometimes claim that they have a FDA approval, which is not true. So I hope you can be very cautious when you hear like that. So as a cosmetic product for now, that's why we usually and officially recommend topical application in combination with devices like microneedling or RF microneedling or laser or sonoporosis, iontoporosis. They can deliver our ingredients into deeper skin and very effectively. You can read all of our publications, more than 35 publications, to know our clinical protocols. And if you have any question on the protocols, please contact your local distributor to get our protocol book. We have we have more than 150 videos from our speakers, and some of them could be shared upon your request. Thank you.
Okay, so this is the last question. The question from Netherlands, and the question is, how many sessions are advised for both skin
Put simply, for facial skin, we recommend 3 sessions. For scalp and hair, we recommend 5 sessions. But sometimes, yeah, you can see 1 session or 2 sessions could be very effective depending on the condition and the patient. And you can ask or contact our local distributor and to know the exact protocol for your specific clinical application. Thank you.
Okay, I think we have covered all the questions from the audience. So thank you, Mr. Byong, again, and thank you for every speakers and audience to spare your precious time for the day. And we'll meet at the next webinar. Always stay tuned to look at our official Instagram, exocobio.official, to know when is the next webinar. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.